Hi, parents. As we enter November, I wanted to reach out and share some of the progress that we've made here in the fourth grade band, both at Park Avenue and Sanfordville. I also want to demonstrate a couple of the first benchmark skills so you can assess at home how your child is progressing. So I'm going to go through a short little list. The first thing is going to be at home practice. Think to yourself, is your child practicing at home? Do they have a consistent routine? This is one of the most important keys to success to build confidence. Confidence is going to lead to further enjoyment of the music program. If your child has regular routine practice, that's going to be about 10 to 15 minutes, as many days as possible. A good target would be 5 days a week. 10 minutes for 5 days a week. They should have consistent practice where they go through their different skills. Now, I know everybody gets busy, myself included, but if we can really make time during the day, whether it's before school or after school, that regular, consistent practice is going to lead to the most amount of confidence for your child. Now, the parents are often asking, what should my child be practicing? Because I know it's beginning band and there's sometimes not a lot to practice, or at least that's what the kids would let you believe sometimes. So here's some of the benchmark skills that we've been learning in the band. The first skill is going to be assembly of the instrument. So I have a clarinet here, but this is going to apply to all of them. Your child should be able to take the instrument from their case and fully assemble it. So the reeds, the mouthpieces, the percussion stands, everything is going to be able to be put together. Now, they might still have a little bit of difficulty for some instruments assembling the reed. They might still have a little bit of difficulty getting all those parts in there nice and tight, but they should be able to take the instrument from the case to full playing position without assistance at this point. The next thing that they're going to practice is they're going to practice their first notes. Now, as they're practicing these notes, what we're striving for is a smooth, even tone. It might be a little bit loud, it might be a little quiet, it might be a little wavy, but what we're striving for is a smooth, even tone. We're going to hold this tone for 4 beats. So a beat would be something like this. And I'm going to play my note. I'm going to demonstrate. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and stop. So again, this is a demonstration on a clarinet, but it applies to all the instruments. Now, what you heard there is I played a long note, I played it smooth, and I played it even. That's what your child should be attempting to do at home. They're going to run through their different notes and try to play for 4 beats. They're going to need to take a nice deep breath in. They're going to need to set their face in the correct way that we learned in lessons. If they can get 4, encourage them to go longer. Maybe 6, maybe 8 beats. It's going to strengthen those lungs. It's going to strengthen those embouchure muscles and start to make that tone easier to produce and definitely more pleasing to the ears. After they've done that exercise, which we'll call long tones, they've played through some stuff, they got their instrument going. The next thing they're going to do is they're going to practice their first 5 notes. If they're a flute player, they only have 3 right now. But everybody else will have the first 5 notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. Now, their first 5 notes you can find in 2 places. The first place is going to be in the lesson book, which hopefully everybody has now. I'm only waiting on 1 or 2. Now, if they open up the lesson book, on page 4 and on page 5, it's a page that it opens up just like this in all the methods. There's these green boxes on this page and over here on this page too. On those green boxes, it shows you the first 5 notes. The notes are a little bit different for each instrument family, but there should be 5 on page 4 and 5. So here, it'll tell the student what the note looks like, what fingers or button or slide position they're going to use. And those are the notes that they're going to practice. You can also find those 5 notes on the handout, which is called Purple Alligator. You can see it on the very bottom where it says scale. And on this one, this is a clarinet and trumpet one. You can see there's a note C, D, E, F, and G. The students are going to start to memorize what do the notes look like, what are their names. Their names will be letters. And then, where do you have to put your fingers or your slide or whatever it may be? Where do you have to put your fingers to make that sound? They're going to practice all 5 of those notes. Now, how I want them to play it is a long, smooth, even sound on each one. Again, I'll demonstrate. Sorry. Now they can play them longer, they can play them faster, they can play them shorter, they can play them louder, they can play them quieter, they can go up the scale, they can go down the scale. But every student should be striving to play all 5 of those notes with a nice, smooth, consistent sound. Now I know I make it sound very smooth because I'm the teacher and I've had time to practice. Your child is going to be loud on some notes, quiet on other ones. That tone will be very wavy. They might be hitting extra buttons. This is where the practice comes in. So the practice is where they're going to start to figure out, how can I make the best sound possible? How can I feel comfortable with my playing so that I can produce those tones on my instrument? Okay. The last part that they're going to be practicing right now is the first band exercise called Purple Alligator, and it's based on that musical scale. So they'll be able to show you the notes. They'll be able to tell you why some notes are colored in and why some notes are not. They'll be able to tell you what this mysterious black box is for over here. And they should be able to start at the beginning and go all the way through it. Now that takes a little bit more practice than I'm leading on to. They're going to have to remember their fingerings. They're going to have to take deep breaths. They're going to have to do all these different things to produce that song. It might take a day of practice. It might take 2 weeks of practice. But the key here is practice and consistency. Now, if your child has gone through all those, they've played their long tones, they've played their 5 notes, they've played through Purple Alligator, there's a couple things that they can do to finish a practice session. They could noodle around on the instrument, try some different notes, try some different keys, make up some things. That might be a lot of fun. We can also start looking in the lesson book. The page that we're loosely doing in lessons right now, but we will start doing in November, is page 7. Page 7 uses those notes from Purple Alligator and uses those notes from the scale and starts to put them into various songs. So once your child has those 5 notes, they're going to learn Purple Alligator in band. We're going to start learning different songs in the method book, and we'll progress from there. So I hope this was helpful. Sit in on your child's next practice session. Be encouraging. We want to encourage creativity. We want to encourage working through these very difficult challenges at first and start to come up with a plan. Visitors at my door. I want to start to come up with a plan of setting a small goal. How can we get incrementally better to eventually move our progress up? If you have any questions, reach out at any time. I'm good with email. I'm very difficult to reach on the phone because I'm in between buildings. But you can send me an email anytime, and I'll usually get back to you within a day or two. Parent-teacher conferences are coming up November 3rd and November 10th. Be sure to sign up for one. I'd love to meet everybody. And I think that's it for now. All right. Have a great weekend.